It's 2020 and we're celebrating a new year, thinking of those resolutions for the year to come. However, on the other side of the world, the news isn't so great. There's a new outbreak of an unknown virus in China. In the city of Wuhan, those who are becoming ill seem to have a link to a local fish market. People are becoming seriously ill, and cases continue to rise and spread. The World Health Organization then announces that this is a new coronavirus. The news that no one wanted to hear, that the outbreak is a global pandemic. Testing ramps up around the world. Governments provide guidance to the best they can. Travel plans are halted. Despite these measures, more and more people become ill. We see our first case in the bubble of St. Andrews. Then,
we will beat the coronavirus, and we will beat it together. And therefore, I urge you, at this moment of national emergency, to stay at home, protect our NHS, and save lives. Thank you.
For everyone, you must stay at home unless it is absolutely essential to go out, and that includes working from home wherever possible. Life should not feel normal for you right now, so if it is, then you are not doing the right things, and I want to ask you today to please put that right.
Hi everyone, I'm Dr. Prabs Dehal. Most people call me Prabs. So the first question is, how has lockdown affected my work? So it's affected my work profoundly. So I used to be a business development manager for the University of St. Andrews. I worked in the finance department. My job was to help researchers find funding for their research, help them collaborate with others, and liaise with the finance and contracts teams to get everything, paperwork in place for them to be able to do their research. So during lockdown, to put things into context, in summer 2019, my dad was diagnosed with prostate cancer. He's in his 80s and he's decided that he doesn't want any severe treatment. He doesn't want radiation therapy or chemotherapy, and it's too advanced for surgery because it's already disseminated. And also during lockdown, one of my very close friends got head and neck cancer. So lockdown has been a strange experience for me. I've never worked from home before, so my job became purely working from home. I enjoyed many aspects of this. I liked hanging out with my children. I have two boys aged 15 and 12, but working all of a sudden became very fragmented during the day. I couldn't start work at 8:30, finish at 5 or whenever. And I've done a steady stream of stuff. Everything was fragmented during the day of helping my children, feeding my children, trying to move about, trying to meet with people online. And underlying all this was the sadness that I feel, that I know I'm going to lose my dad. I know everybody loses people they love all the time. This is a circle of life. But I started to become unsatisfied with my life and how it was progressing. So I'm a scientist by training, an immunologist, a cancer immunologist. And I started thinking about the happiest times of my life, which have been in the lab. So one particular day during lockdown, I had quite a hard day at work and I was very, very unhappy. And I decided that I no longer wanted to do that job. So I started applying for other jobs, and I was very fortunate. I've now got a postdoc position in a Rebecca Goss's lab 1 day a week, and another job which is to help set up a new engineering initiative at St Andrews. So I left a permanent job and I've now got 2 temporary jobs, which is terrifying. And as I'm going to be 50 this year, I feel like maybe it was quite a naughty thing to have done, but it has transformed me. I am so happy. Although I'm still working from home mostly, apart from the 1 day a week, I'm doing other things. I feel like I've come home. I feel like, I don't know how to explain it exactly. I'm not really, I don't know, maybe I've become a frog after being a tadpole in a pond for a little while, but I'll show you around my garden. So this is some of the stuff I've been doing during lockdown. When I left my job in finance, people kindly arranged a collection for me. So I bought a polytunnel. I've been doing a lot of plants and planting. I don't have a big garden, but I've just been out in it a lot more. I have a small patch I've recently planted. There's my beautiful tulips just coming up. And this, my children no longer use this, but I've been lying on this swing, staring up at the sky, contemplating life. And yeah, for me, lockdown has been positive because I've changed my life, but it's also been negative. I've lost family members to COVID. Most significantly, my great uncle, his daughters work at Heathrow Airport for BA, and they brought COVID home, which killed him ultimately. So it's been sad and happy. It's been sort of like accelerated life within a year. So that's how lockdown has been for me. The single most difficult thing was not having time to myself. So not having any moment in the day where I could be by myself and just think nothing at all, which I frequently need to do. I need to just stop listening to things, watching things. I just need to switch off. So I did start going for walks more often. So I'll drag you back to my new patch of gardens. So I'm very fortunate where I live in Broughty Ferry in Dundee. I'm about half a mile away from the beach. So I would go down to the beach, and really inspired by people in our own School of Earth and Environmental Sciences. I love all the stuff they do with rocks. So every day I would go down to the beach and I would collect a rock. So there's an example of one. And they're all river pebbles, really. But there was something very nice about going down there and being able to switch off. But we do live in Scotland, so quite often you don't want to walk down to the beach because it's flipping freezing or windy or rainy. So yeah, that was a single selfish thing that I found very hard about lockdown. Not being able to see my family, knowing I've got limited time left with my dad. I felt like there was a giant clock ticking in my head saying, oh, you must go and see him before he goes. But we have done video calls, telephone calls, and it's not the same, clearly. I miss London as well. So I am from London originally, even though I left many, many years ago. I do like going back to the city. I do like wandering around. But yeah, so I don't know if there's a single thing that I found difficult about lockdown. A combination of events of not being on my own and being on my own is the greatest difficulty for me. Positive perspectives I took from the lockdown experience have been to value family, friends, relationships, and my position within those layers of an onion that you have in life. So yeah, the positives is sounding like an old hippie. I feel a lot of love recently, and the whole experience of lockdown has made me love people more and appreciate people who I love and who love me more. So I did enjoy having my kids at home. After lunch, a lot of days we would play something on the Wii, such as Mario Kart, and it made us come closer together. It was a good experience as a family. Yeah, just appreciating people a lot more, and being more forgiving of people when they do things that might upset or anger you, and just accepting people's differences and how they are and how they appreciate how I am. It took this pause in life for me to see it, and I'm grateful for that. It's been good. Working from home, because I've never done it to this extent before, the experience has shown me that I can do it, that I can do it under multiple stresses and pressures. I've sort of learned that I enjoy both aspects. So working from home in certain ways, in certain times, especially when the kids are at school, I can get so much done, which I couldn't do in an office necessarily. But I do miss people. So there are two flip sides to that coin. So I'm hoping when things move forward, when everything's open again, that perhaps both will be accommodated for, because at a business level, the university, excuse me, needs us to work hard and achieve things within certain timelines. And I feel that working from home sometimes for specific tasks is more efficient than traveling all the way to Fife, finding somewhere to park, being interrupted. Yeah, it's different. It's different. So it's been interesting. Yeah. So I think both sides. Working from home is good, but working with people is also good, but having a balance between the two and adapting it for everybody. I mean, there'll be some days when you don't want to talk to people, and other days where you do crave having the laughter of people within earshot. It's all yeah, it's been interesting. A good balance is there, and I can see it's there now, which maybe I hadn't appreciated before. The advice I would give myself, to my historical past before lockdown, would be to sort of relax into it, in the same way a cat can just fill any space that it falls into. You know, we can do that as well. None of it's going to be too stressful or too pressured unless you need it to be. I would say don't worry. It's hard to know, isn't it? Because as a biologist, you do fear these pandemics. You do understand, especially as an immunologist, what's coming, I suppose. And I was pretty panicked when it first took off back in February, March. I did think this is bad. So I would maybe say stay sensible, and it'll be all right. It'll be all right in the long term. I would also say be harder on the kids and make them study more because they can take it. They can actually take it. Yeah, I guess the overall thing would be time passes, things resolve themselves. Everything will be all right. Don't worry.